I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And I had put my camera down a while ago, like sometime probably last year or the year before. I really hadn't really picked it up. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So you are seeing part 2 of my life update. If you have not already hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell, make sure you do so right now. Alright, so part 2 of my life update. Let's get into it. One of my last, or a few of my last videos, I talked about doing brows. And I took a class. I went all the way to Atlanta and took a class for micro shading. And that was a pretty cool class. It was a pretty different experience for me, something I had never done before, because I love brows. Like, I love to do my brows, and I want to do other people's brows. So I took that class, became certified in micro shading, and I was like, okay, well, what's a bigger and better thing to do for brows is to go to school for go to school to be esthetician, so that I can really do like the whole shebang, with brow waxing, brow tinting, brow henna, the whole nine, everything with brows. So that was my goal. Going into this year, I was like, okay, well, I don't just want to do micro shading. I want to do like the whole thing, and I'd rather wait until I do become an esthetician, so I really know about skin and brows and all that good stuff, once I finish school. All right, so mind you, these are my plans. These are plans that I felt like God was telling me to do, and I feel like He still is telling me to do. But, sometimes things change or whatever, and sometimes, He has you doing different things at different times. So I had went ahead and my friend Victoria, we were both planning to go to esthetician school, which will be in May. But this was in February, I think. When I really made this decision, I was like, okay, I'm going to esthetician school. I'm going to sign up now, all that good stuff. So I went, signed up for school, had my name down, paid my money or whatever to get into school. So this is February. March happens. And then I'm like, okay, well, school is going to kind of take up a little bit more of my time. So right now, I teach classes in the morning. Still teach with Q Kids. If you don't know, it is a contract job where I teach Chinese kids English, and it's done like really early in the mornings. But yeah, you can watch one of my videos on here to see how that goes if you would like to get into it. And then I also do food delivery for a company called Lunch Drop, which is corporate food delivery Monday through Friday. It is also a contract job. You only deliver to corporate locations at their lunchtime. So between like 11:30 and 12:30, you only do it for an hour a day, and it's $25 an hour. Okay, so those were my two, current jobs. I'm like, okay, like I had already been looking for other jobs, that would work around this school thing, because I didn't want to give up any of my current contract jobs, and I was thinking like, what can I do? What can I do? Like looking on Indeed or whatever. Being that the school hours were like in the morning, I was like, okay, I could do something in the afternoon because I would have to give up my food delivery job. All right, and then I had my store, my boutique, Shop Number 9. So those are like my three current jobs, my forms of income. But like I just needed more. I needed more money, regardless whether I was going to school or not or whatever. So um, I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And I had put my camera down a while ago, like sometime probably last year or the year before. I really hadn't really picked it up. My boyfriend was like, why don't you do photography? And I was like, I don't know, like I might can do photography here and there. I got to really market myself, because I like street style photography. I like doing outside photography as well, and then I like doing interiors, residential and commercial photography. Those are some of the things I've done before, and I really love. And I was like, okay, so it started to really get in my head, like, okay, you can do photography. You're still on your own schedule. This could work around school. So, I wrote out my little price list, and how I was going to market myself. I already had a portfolio website. So I was just going to build on that and remarket myself in the photography area to make money while I was going to school. So this was kind of like a second thing, because brows was first, being an esthetician, and then I was going to do photography um, to make money or whatever, like while I'm in school. Okay, so February, I mean, we're in March at this point. All right. I'm going headed to school. That's the plan, that's the goal, is to go to school. All right, so I'm like, okay, pick up my camera, let's do some photography. Like I said, I have my list wrote out of how I was gonna market myself. And I was looking on Indeed for how I could make more money, maybe some other contract jobs or whatever, part-time, to fit around school. And I found this job that was a photography job shooting apartments, okay? If you don't know me, I love apartments. Like, I love everything about apartments. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. Like, I love apartments more than I love houses. Even if somebody said, oh, you could have $1 million house versus $1 million apartment, I would go with the apartment, okay? Like, I just love them. And I've always wanted to shoot them. I've always wanted to photograph apartments, I did previously have the opportunity to photograph, do real estate photography, and my heart wasn't in it. It was more obviously the money. And that particular job, I had to do floor plans. I did not like the floor plan part, which was very tedious and very like brain racking for me. I love the more the photographing part of it. So I didn't stick with that job. I didn't really like doing the houses or whatever, but I had always in my heart wanted to shoot apartments. I love doing apartment tours. I have some on my channel from here in North Carolina, even in Dallas, Texas. But yeah, so I saw that job and I was like, is this a scam? Because there are jobs on Indeed that are scams, and so it was like great pay for like shooting an apartment per apartment, and it was like light editing, and I was like, okay, like this is me all day. So I quickly applied like that night. I had to do like a little video and send it in, and then like that, it was, I think it was like on a Friday, and so that happened on that Friday night. I sent the application in. Okay, while I was also on another site that I look for like contract freelance work called Upwork, there was a job up there doing food photography for Asian companies, with a company called Chowbus. And so I was like, I've never done food photography, but hey, like I can do that. Like it seems pretty easy. Um, but, I was like, let me just go ahead and apply, and I did. And literally that Sunday night, I got a hit back for the food photography job, um, to be hired. And it was through an app called Snapwire, which I will tell you about that in a minute. But on Monday, I also got a hit back from the apartment photography job, which is called Landing. So Landing, they actually have apartments all across the US in like every big city. And they offer furnished apartments as well as non-furnished apartments. But the perks of booking an apartment through them is you can get out of your lease in like 30 days. There's like no hassle lease stuff. So if you're in a regular apartment, you got to give a 60-day notice. You got to kind of be at the end of your lease, or you have to pay money. With this type of leasing agreement, you can literally rent at the same place you want to rent with regularly, but through Landing, and they give you those perks. You also have travel perks of staying in any of the Landing homes. Like in whatever city or state they have them in, like they give you 7 days free. There's people that will come and clean your apartment. They have all type of things that goes with the perks of renting your apartment through Landing versus actually that actual leasing place at the apartment complex. So like I said, Monday I got hit back from the apartment place or whatever, and I was immediately hired. right then, as well as the food photography job through Snapwire. So they gave me like their stipulations of how both companies wanted their food and apartments photographed. So I, was reading over that. Mind you, I hadn't done real estate photography since I think like last year, like around the time at the beginning of COVID, when COVID came or whatever. But I had to refresh. I took a few photos in the apartment, and my brain quickly came back to how to do photography for interiors and real estate and stuff like that. So I literally got my first job, I think, like the next week or whatever, because there was like a waiting week, and I got my first job with the apartment people the second week. And it's pretty cool. I'm still doing that. I love this job, and I will never quit. I don't see myself quitting this job like ever. But there will probably be bigger and better things to come. But so basically, I go and I photograph the furnished apartments that they have that people are moving into. And then they have like a ton of complexes that they are in connection with here between Raleigh and Durham. And I also do their photography in Greensboro as well. So, so I do Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro. And right now, I do like 2 to 3 a week, depending on each week or whatever. But as far as the food photography job, it actually never panned out. Like, I got hired for the job. I, never heard anything from them except for the project manager said that things went a little bit left with the project for this area and they were slow rolling out. But it is now April and I have not heard anything. But I will say that by getting the food photography job, which was through Snapwire, I had to create a profile on Snapwire, which Snapwire connects videographers and photographers with brands to create content, create work for them. So once I created that profile, I was in a bigger system than just this one little job that never panned out. So when I got on Snapwire, you actually put in each of the type of photography or videography that you do, as well as some of your portfolio to show people and brands that you're capable of doing certain things that you say that you're expertise in. Once I got on Snapwire, being that I was into residential photography and commercial photography, I actually got an invite from Airbnb to shoot for Airbnb. Mind you, I had put in an application to shoot for Airbnb right when COVID started, along the same time I was shooting the houses for Planomatic. But I never got a call back, never got a hit back, email, anything. So this was pretty cool, like to not even apply for Airbnb to shoot for them, and they sent me an invitation. So the way Snapwire works is by you putting your profile and your portfolio on Snapwire, different brands, will hit you up and ask if you're interested in doing work for them. It's paid by project type of work. And the pay is pretty good, I must say. I actually also got a hit up from a company called Ethan Allen, which is an interior design company, to do work for them as well. So I can really say that you will work with some great brands by being on Snapwire. I've already done my first Airbnb shoot, which I was a beginner at because the way Airbnb does photography, they want more editorial style photography, and it was kind of different from what I was used to doing. So I had to kind of jump gears for them. But the good thing about working for Airbnb is you don't have to edit. Just go take the photos in the way they want you to, and you don't have to edit, and you're paid once the photos are confirmed. But yeah, there's tons of brands on there that you can work with. So having a great portfolio up there is key. But yeah, so I've been shooting for Landing ever since, what did I say, February? Yeah, so March. So March. Yeah, so I've been shooting for Landing since March. I recently just done my first Airbnb. So I've been shooting like every single week. I've never shot this much in my life ever. Like it's great. Like I love it because it only takes me like an hour and a half at max to do an apartment shoot, which is pretty good with the pay that I get for it. And then I'm out of there. Like I'm done, and I just have to edit the photos, which only takes me like an hour, hour and a half as well. So 3 hours of work total, split up, and I'm done. So I love it. I go in the apartments by myself. There's no one in there. It's just me, do my thing, and I'm out. All right. So now I have found jobs that I could work while I'm in school. Okay. So it's the beginning of April now, okay? And my financial aid from school has came back because they could not see for this coming up semester until April. All right, so I get a call like the first week of April from the school, and they was like, your financial aid came, but it only covered like 10% of the total. Mind you, this is an expensive school, and 10% of the total covered by financial aid is not going to do it for me. Like, I would literally have to give all of my money for my even new job, my new contract job, to go to this school to pay it off in 10 months. Okay. It just didn't sit right with my spirit. And I was like, like, I don't think that this is a good thing to do right now in my life, because I'm trying to get on my feet. I'm trying to take care of some things that are, I feel like, more important. Um, and it just wasn't working, like mentally. Like I didn't have peace about it, and I was like, I could always go to school next year. Like school is gonna be there. So I was like, just go to school next year. All right, so yeah. All right. I'm gonna tell you the next part on part 3, okay, about how um everything pans out from that, from me not deciding to go to school. So make sure you stay tuned for part 3. But I want to tell all of you guys who are interested in freelance photography or videography or just freelance work, period. Some of the jobs or apps you can get on to get more work, and I have already mentioned some of them. But number one is Upwork. It is not my most favorite, but it is where I started. Upwork was where I got an opportunity to work for Target, to do commercial photography for them across 7 of their targets across NC. The pay was pretty good. It was like $150 per location. I did not have to edit the photos, just go there and take the photos. Certain angles they wanted and all that stuff. So certain stipulations. But, I found that job through Upwork. Now, Upwork, you can actually not only get hired with photography jobs or videography, but if you're a writer, if you're a blogger, if you work in IT, there's all kind of freelance jobs on Upwork. So if that's something you're looking for, create a profile on Upwork, create your pricing, and put a portfolio up there, and you'll start getting hits. People will hit you up to do work for them. You can also find work and apply for it. So it goes both ways on Upwork. My number two ways to get more jobs now is through Snapwire, which I just mentioned. And like I said before, Snapwire is where you put your profile, as far as any your portfolio on Snapwire, and brands will contact you if they want to work with you. Or you can also apply for open briefs. They call them briefs, and that's, brief is a job on Snapwire for photographers and videographers. Right now, Snapwire is only for photographers and videographers. So far, I have gotten 3 jobs on there, and they have all been in the last literally like 2 weeks, with Airbnb and then Ethan Allen. So I will say it's pretty legit. I've already gotten paid for my first job. You get paid on the 1st and the 15th. But yeah, so if you are into photography and videography, and you want to work with brands, be sure to get a Snapwire account. All right, number 3 is the company I work for apartment photography. They don't have any more photography jobs, but if you are looking for just contract work, they have work which they call host, because they furnish apartments. So they have people that they need to do all types of stuff, whether it's cleaning jobs, whether it's just meeting like a utility person to set up the Wi-Fi or different things like that. So on the board, you can actually just grab a job and go do it, and you get paid weekly. They have stuff where you go pick up stuff from Target that is interior stuff, and you set it in the apartment the way they want it. They have installation jobs where they have you stage the home according to their standards, and they send you the furniture, all that good stuff. That's almost like $300 to do those jobs. But they have an array of jobs, and I will put the link down below for all of these on Snapwire, Upwork, and Landing. Landing is also in every big city and state. So it is across the board. Upwork, you can be anywhere as well. Snapwire, you can be anywhere. Number 4, which is a new one, and I have not actually got a job on there yet, but I have seen some things I might want to apply for, which is called Creatively. And they also post creative jobs for writers, photographers, videographers, editors. So that is something that like I said, have been checking out, and I'm probably going to apply for a few things. So if you are interested in that, I'll definitely put the link for that below. And last but not least, Indeed. Okay, Indeed actually has creative jobs on there. The thing is, you have to really look for them and do your research, because they're mixed in with regular jobs, they're mixed in with scams, all that stuff. But that's where I actually landed my teaching job and my food delivery job, which are both contracts. So if you're interested in that as well, Lunch Drop is only in Raleigh, Austin, Texas, and one more place, but I forgot. But if you're interested in doing the food delivery, I'll put that in the link below. Like I said, you only do it Monday through Friday. You do it for 1 hour a day. And the teaching job is based in China, but you do it from home, so the kids can actually see you. And you have like 1 to 4 kids per class. And it's contract work, and you get paid once a month, but you get paid per class that you do per 30-minute class. And I'll also put the link for that down below. So there's like a ton of creative jobs, and if you're trying to break out into that, wanting to be a full-time creative, sometimes it does take you to do 2 and 3 and 4 jobs, to really make that full-time income. And that's where I am. Like, I have finally gotten to the place where I am making a full-time income, and I'm continuing to climb that ladder. I haven't even actually done anything for my own clients. I haven't even put myself back out there to book myself for my own people. On my own, I've just been working with brands and companies right now, building my income, building finances and stuff like that. One last thing is called Shoot, and that I found about that I actually applied for, but I could not get hired with Shoot because I don't have the right camera. So Shoot is for photographers, and what they do is they schedule 30-minute shoots in certain locations in certain cities, and you as a photographer, you would go and do that 30-minute shoot, and you probably would do 2, shoots back to back, because you get paid $110 per 2 shoots. So, like, just say downtown Raleigh. Okay, I'm a photographer for Shoot. I'm shooting today from 10 to 11. I have 2 shoots, 10 to 10:30, and then 10:30 to 11. Okay, so the clients would actually come to that location, and you would do those 2 shoots back to back, like quick photo shoots. They're already dressed. They already have whatever they're gonna put on, all ready to go. And it's like Shoot was built to do the work for the photographers that want to do street style shooting, and it's very light editing. No Photoshop. If there is Photoshop done, the client has to pay way more. So the goal is to just do light editing, natural stuff. Yeah, I applied, and the reason why I didn't get in was because I have a crop sensor camera, They actually want full frame cameras right now, but they did say that in the future they may change the requirements. But if you have a full frame camera, and I know right now they're doing it in the Raleigh, Durham, Morrisville, Charlotte areas, um, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, I think, those type of cities here. But yeah, shoot is something that you can make quick money. Like four four shoots, $200, light editing. Most photographers can do that really quick. I think it's like 40 photos per person. But yeah, so those are just some of the things that I know about, have tried or wanted to try. And I hope this helps a lot of you who are trying to break out into that full-time creative. It is hard work. It takes patience, and it's continuing to climb the ladder, continuing to be a beginner, and that's something that I'm learning because I've sometimes doubted myself with photography, and God has really opened up that door for me in photography always, because to be able to work with brands like is something that I never thought that I would be able to do. And to be able to work with Target, Planomatic, Landing, Airbnb, and now Ethan Allen, um, something that I never, like I said, I never would have guessed in a million years that I would be able to do. But thanks, all glory to God, He's opened that door, and I wanted to share with you all the ways that you can become a freelance artist, whether it's photography, videography, writing, whatever. So be sure to check out those sites. I will post them in the comment box below. Stay tuned for part 3 as I tell you how this apartment thing has kind of changed my life. All right, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.